Hello, Internet. Welcome to the first session of our wonderful train tribunal. Everything's going to be great.
What do you mean first session?
That's ominous. And I at first was just like, Nick, there's been more than one session of this game.
The fact that the train tribunal is your same first session of train tribunal is
Look,
Dude, that's terrifying.
there is a good chance you guys resolve everything in one session. It can be the first and the last, but I make no promises. We are very distractible.
This continues the trend of Izzy's plot will derail sessions for, a week or two.
Train fun!
all the times your plot has derailed a session, I think it derailed the ongoing plot. I think this is thus far my favorite.
Yep.
Derailed.
Yep.
Also, it hasn't overtaken the plot.
Nope.
All right.
But yeah, so at the end of last session, you guys all were brought to the Magic Train Yard. And you were given a suite to sit in and rest and discuss and plan for the next 4 hours what you're going to do in regards to justifying what's going on. I'm going to give you guys an explanation of how the mechanics are actually going to work for this one, which is that each of these accusations needs a certain number of overcomes to win the argument, Phoenix Wright style.
Hold it.
One of the big things is the more witnesses against that get called in, the more overcomes you're going to have to make.
Okay.
Some people are worth more than one as witnesses.
Okay.
Do we know how many witnesses are pulled on first, or is there a period between witnesses and when we make the overcomes?
There's a period between that. Like right now, you guys can plan things, talk to any of the people who might get called in, try and find witnesses of your own who you think both will not add to the stack of people in number one. And also,
All right, guys, you know who we got to bring in for this.
We can't bring in Jitters. Are we bringing in Jitters?
I don't know what we would be bringing in Jitters to do.
Character witness.
I could actually bring in Jitters for a question, but I really need to know the answer to some of the questions I have asked Jitters.
Character witness.
I'm pretty sure if we bring Jitters in, then the jig is up and he's just added to the against pile for number one.
Jitters will be in the against pile for number one.
What about Gamma or Iota?
Same thing.
Well, notably, there are some people who it's fine if they know who Mr. C is.
Yeah, and
Toss all the members on your team.
Yeah, I think.
Also, I feel like Iota knows, and that is something outside of things.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, Nick. I'm just George right now.
Yeah, you're just George right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think most of us are just in our normal identities right now, right?
You are in whatever identities you want to be. You would have there. It is Satanic Shot / Ruth and Lives. Like Ruth is getting called in on number one. Mr. Station Master is aware of things.
Oh, great. So that means we're just outing ourselves as to who exactly we are to the Red Tape and company.
Oh.
Not if we don't get him here. She doesn't believe in magic. We have a strong case.
Yeah, not if you find a way for her to not show up.
Okay, sorry. Where are all the notes we had for this?
It's in the general chat right now.
Yeah, Ash also put it in here.
I put the witnesses in the Roll-20, and now I'm putting in the actual accusations. on there too, but it's also in general, and I linked to it for ease.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think I satisfied Gwyn of the Green Death. If we want to get a message out to Mulgwyn so I can explain what my plans are, I'm sure he won't disapprove.
Mm.
He will be
Well,
annoyed.
You guys have 20 actions to do things and try and either make plans, find
20?
witnesses of your own, or talk to witnesses.
Wait, did you say 20?
I'm assuming
20
it's 4.
total actions between 5 of you over the course of 4 rounds. Each round is an hour.
Right? Well, are there any witnesses we should bring in that are not like so we have no witnesses right now, right?
Yeah, right now you guys have no witnesses.
Okay. So,
So-
let's draft this up. Who do we want as a witness to help with this?
I mean, if one potentially a character is a witness, do you remember Gamma and Iota?
The problem is, will a character witness matter with these charges?
I don't think it does.
So here is the thing that matters. These are the tracks of overcomes you need to make. How you guys choose to make those overcomes and who you bring up are getting added to a couple of hidden tracks to determine things.
We could try having Iota argue that this was inevitably always going to happen and therefore was unavoidable.
Here's one too that's an interesting, weird argue. How much do we know about the red tapes thing in game yet?
Not too much.
We know
Not
it's
much.
We don't.
we know she has a suspiciously fast way of getting information, given that she knew what hospital Harmony was sent to without being told
Yeah,
within
there seemed to be
5 minutes of the fight.
Could we do a weird argue that the red tape's ability invalidates the spirit, like the identity contract?
I mean, we could.
Yep, that is a valid overcome during the trial.
Right, but so I think we should make that as an argument that we don't know exactly what the red tape can do, but the red tape has some sort of ability to know things, and if the red tape can know that, her mere existence breaks the rule of the train, like the train contract, by no fault of Mr. Conductor.
I
Alright.
think that's a good backup, but I really do think we should just try and get all of Red Tape and her cronies to not show up.
Yeah,
I'd argue that Iota would be a similar one to argue with of Iota's power set means that it is likely that identity was always going to come out.
So one thing we need to try to establish: does Mr. Conductor know what the rough penalties are, like what the sentencing guidelines are for each of these individual charges?
I believe the answer is Mr. Conductor / George does not. Izzy has a idea because I had a conversation with Nick last week.
Is that information we can get, because it will help us determine if we want to just throw on one of the charges and deal with the more serious ones to focus our resources.
I think I still have the book that is in Latin.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you can
So
spend
is,
one
I guess,
of your
a
actions
question
researching that.
I guess one of the questions for one is whether or not this is a case of is it that purposely reveals, or is the fact that would anyone finding out on their own also be a problem? Like, is it you failed because you failed to keep this hidden, or is it you revealed it yourself that's an issue?
Also, how many people are even alive that were around when you did the thing?
Many.
Are you
Many.
sure many? I feel like a lot of civilians were already gone.
Yeah. I mean, many in the term of it's basically all of Red Tape's, and then me who was standing there. The other guy is dead, so he doesn't.
But if we invalidate red tape, that actually negates a lot of people.
Yes.
Because she can
Invalidating
assume
her does not invalidate her administrators.
if she tells them it does. I would argue the inevitability of red tape being a cop, basically she would give that information anyways. for red tape to know it is inevitably for them to know it.
Right, but we can't prove that red tape found out because of her power.
There are arguments you can make. Could someone give me an overcome for digging through digging through the book for what bylaws Mr. Conductor is supposed to follow?
I mean, since
I
Sean is the
can.
Can I
you're
give
the
a
only
boost
one that
to
can read
Sean?
this.
And
You
do
can
we have a tracker?
absolutely give a boost.
Okay, I'm gonna boost him for this, and Nick, just am I in my normal mode or am I in unpowered?
I think right now for this scene you are in your normal mode.
Okay.
For next scene you are going to be in unpowered mode.
Okay, so I'm going to boost you with intuition and alertness, saying, maybe check that one section where, you were saying I had to follow these rules. I think it was, somewhere in the middle of the book, like around here, finding a general page. That's a +2.
Okay. So I do not have a power for this. Rebuilding so I have a mental power is one of the things I'm really considering at this point. I am using Cat because I don't think otherworldly methods gets to work here.
No, it does.
Oh, it does? Okay, cool. And then I have a D10, and so that's 2 D10s and a D4, and I'm using Principle of Immortality because I'm relying on my old I am an ancient fae, there are weird magic contracts background.
That is perfect for this.
And yeah, I think that's I am going to use my collection to summon my assistant to also help me with this. So that is a D4, so another +1 boost. So this has a +3. They're a very useful assistant, clearly.
He so useful. He just ruled on the pages.
So that
Maybe.
is 6 + 3, so 9.
Yep. All right. So, for researching about what the rules were and what the penalties are. Number 1 is primarily an arrangement between the Mystical Train Yard and many other powers that be about the fact that different realms should not be able to randomly mix, and in particular, there's a big agreement about not making the knowledge about other realms big public information to mortals. The main penalty being is that if someone who has access to ease of travel reveals this information, that they would, if they know it and reveal it, or cause it to be widespreadly known, they will lose their abilities and their office.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd argue that the cat is already out of the bag for that. That the only reason it is not fully out of the bag is that red tape is a stubborn bitch, and something that doesn't match her worldview is being ignored. Because the Mafia was abusing this. The Mafia has mages capable of teleportation and dark magic. The mob has Fae working for it.
Well, actually, there's even a better argument for the Mafia. The former Mr. Conductor worked for them. They clearly knew how the
Notably, he
magic
got
train yard
fired.
worked.
Notably, you can find this. He got fired for breaking this rule.
Right,
Yeah,
but that
the
doesn't.
rule is already broken. That doesn't mean that because everyone who knew about it now forgets.
Yeah, everyone still knew about it.
And all the mob had tickets, so both sides. The only side that didn't have it was the red tape side, and I think that's why they're being called in on us.
So literally everyone so I would argue almost everyone involved already knew, and the only reason the red tape doesn't know is, like you said, sheer willful ignorance, not because of not realizing it was a thing.
Yeah, because she has pulled out magical contracts and still refuses to believe that there is magic involved.
That is
There,
very,
buddy.
as you say, these are very much arguments that you guys are going to make to Mr. Station Master during the trial.
Yes.
Yes. I
These
still
are-
think it's very important we try and knock Red Tape and her cronies out from 1, because that is 4 people against us, and that's very bad.
Okay, well, how do we convince them to not be at the trial?
Those of you who want to go back to Earth can go back to Earth. Mr. C is the main one who has been requested to stay here.
Can
I
we?
can't leave, but I can send you guys.
Ooh, all right. I have a
have-
really
Oh,
drastic idea.
I have a less drastic idea. That's just going to cause a bunch of problems for me personally.
I'd like to know your less drastic idea first before I tell you the drastic idea.
I mean, I already established that Ruth was trying to write like a bunch of articles on what happened. I could try really hard to push ones that like do not paint the red tape in good light, and also try and use the photos that I got beforehand that showed her abilities up close to maybe be like distracting of the thing of like, oh no, we need to keep a lid on this press thing.
Mm.
Are we able to use one of our Gwyn favors right now, or no? Because he's not Gwyn.
So your Gwyn favors right now will summon good spirits.
Okay, so that's worthless. Never mind.
The answer is, if you can get in touch with Gwyn, he is an honorable person who will like do the thing properly.
So Gwyn is very powerful, correct?
Yes.
And Gwyn currently has all the powers of good spirits, including his chaos powers, right?
He's probably not
Chaos
gonna
is
use
more
them.
of my principle.
Yeah.
Moreover, he has my magic, and he has chaos
Right.
is more of my
But-
nature and being.
But
Than
he'll
magic.
do a favor to the letter of the favor, even if it's outside of the way he likes to operate. Correct?
Yeah, he will do it. It will still count as like
What?
you guys spending the thing.
What if we make problems enough that red tape is too busy to show up?
See, if I was going to pull in Gwen's favor, I'd say use the fact that he is also currently the Lord of Chicago and has all of the magic to do some declarations. And basically get Malgwyn to behave through that,
No, I was just
along
gonna
with
say
get maybe other entities to not show up.
I don't know if he
Like,
can
see
make the
how
red.
much that can, see how much him pulling weight can knock out 2 and 3.
Mm.
Right, but I don't know how much he can stop. Like one is the charge I'm most worried about,
Oh, so
and I don't know
other
if he can. Sorry.
other information about the other charges. 2 is basically a charge that, like, if it is a gross violation that is not made up on, can also result in dismissal, but otherwise it is primarily a charge about Mr. Conductor is going to have to make good on problems that he has caused to the train station.
Right,
Yeah,
but
which
I feel
means
like Mr.
if we get people not to show up for that one, it's just gone. Well, for the other one, we still have to solve even if people show up.
Yep.
So, I feel like that is the better use of Gwen that is less likely to have problems later. While if we want to get rid of red tape, like, there are other less nuclear options that can be pulled on, along with potentially the things of like there's the thing of you mentioned article, but there's a thing of could also just push for like a press conference or something like that that would happen at the same time that would tie her up that way,
Well,
or
the
a
interesting thing is that she called on Gwen and Good Spirits came running, so I was gonna angle the hell out of that.
I mean, can you? That could be like what Sean was saying. Can you set up a press conference to keep her busy?
I can attempt. It depends how the rolls go.
Yep.
Because I think keeping her busy in a press conference is probably the best bet. Right?
yeah, there's also the possibility of convincing her that since this involves magic, it is bullshit and not something that she should waste time on.
I mean, you have to spend time with her. You could do that.
Yeah, that is an overcome you can definitely do, because she's going to like receive a letter about, requesting to show up at a trial of one Mr. Conductor.
Yeah, so I'm just going to do with that of like, oh, so you believe in magic now.
Yep, that'll be great when it is your turn. So here's a question: what are Satanic Shot Foundry and the Boogeyman going to do for their first hour of try and get helpful things done? No, boost yourselves for the next scene is always a valid choice.
Yeah, but I feel like I want to do something role play. Like,
Yep.
I mean, well, can we talk to Mr. Station Master at all?
Yeah, you can talk to Mr. Station Master.
I feel like having a conversation with Mr. Station Master might do something.
Fair enough.
Like, I don't know what angle do we take with this though?
Oh no.
I also have a dumb question, Nick. Can we call trains in as character witnesses?
Yes.
Okay. Was not sure
You
if
guys-
that was a thing.
Are you guys sure we don't want to bring Jitters in?
I want to talk to Jitters for separate reasons to maybe help build the case for option 1.
I just think it's really funny to bring Jitters in.
Do you want to go visit me with Jitters?
Yes, I do. That's action 1. Let's
Jitters
do it.
clearly knew nothing, therefore he is the one that should have been most easily able to figure this out and didn't.
All right, let's go visit Jitters. Action 1. Let's go.
Let's go!
Sounds perfect. Jitters. All right.
Jitters. Where he at?
So I think right now Jitters is probably sitting in his apartment, staring at a glass of whiskey and not drinking it because boy did something shit just happen.
He's going to hear a loud train whistle as the Boogeyman and Satanic Shot appear in his apartment.
Yeah, as the Boogeyman and Satanic Shot. Let's be clear.
Yes, very clear.
Jitters is going to promptly sit very straight up and just like, hello?
Jitters,
Hey,
did you do those jobs I asked for you?
Yeah, the kid, she's safe?
Very good.
I nod. I'm like, good. You did good.
See, I
Jitters.
told you he could do it.
I know he can do it. Why do you think I asked for help from him so much? It's not because he's scared of me or anything, right, Jitters? I smile, peeling back some of the flesh.
Not at all, Mr. Boogeyman, sir.
Good. So, my friend has a few questions here for you, and then we may need to ask you another favor since you're so helpful for us, Jitters. I'm sorry, guys, I can't help but like freak him out.
I love her.
Jitters is just gonna nod slowly.
Alright, Jitters. Now, I asked you for 2 favors, and I'm very pleased that you've been paying attention to that little girl and making sure nothing bad happens to her. But there was a second favor I asked you to do. Do you remember what that favor was, Jitters?
Please remind me out of character so I can know whether or not Jitters reminded, because the last session was busy.
That's so fair. I asked him to see everything he could find about a woman called Stacy, probably working in City Hall or the police station.
Yep. He basically says, well, so there's 2 Stacys at the police station. There's 1 at City Hall. City Hall was pretty quiet about her right now. Not sure what's up with that. Police station. There's a secretary, and there's well, no one's not quite sure exactly what she does, but they say she handles like weird jobs around the police station.
Okay. Full names, Jitters? Come on, I know you're thorough.
Yep. So the City Hall, we got Stacy Trainland. Then out in police station, we have give me 1 second. We have Stacy Boothman and Stacy Norris. Norris is the one who they're not quite sure what she does, except that she does it really well. Yeah.
Either of them, of the three of them have families? Or dating anyone? Seeing anyone?
Well, I couldn't find out much about City Hall, like I said. Mum's the word right now, but Norris has a family. Boothman does not. She's I don't know, but like still pretty young, so everyone's like, yeah, she'll find someone eventually.
Mm.
Yeah. That good, Miss
Yeah, no.
Shot?
You have done an excellent job, Jitters. I now know why you come so highly recommended.
I smile again.
Jitters is going to attempt to smile.
You been okay after everything? Keeping your head down?
Today has been a lot. Today has been a lot. I think today has been a lot for everybody.
Very fair, Jitters. Make sure you're taking care of yourself.
He's just gonna nod at that.
I know that the boogeyman wouldn't say it, but he would be devastated if something happened to you. And I feel very similarly.
It would be tragic. I'd have to come get you myself.
Such a helper.
So out of character, do we want to get him to try and help us?
Oh no, I got the information that I needed from that.
Okay.
My thought is if he George only said as Mr. Conductor that her name was Stacy and that he was that they were romantically involved because she is his wife. So I was trying to establish how many people it could potentially be.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. Well, let's ask Jitters another question then. So, Jitters, I do got one more question for you. How much, how clearly do you remember the events of? This is only a couple hours ago, right?
Yep.
Yeah, this is only a few hours ago.
How well do you
like
remember
4 or 5, I think.
everything that just happened earlier this evening?
Oh boy, there was a lot. What part of it do you want to know? I think I remember the beginning better than the end.
That's good. How well do you remember everything that happened with Mr. Conductor tonight? And be
Well,
honest, Jitters.
so I'm not sure exactly what happened with Mr. Conductor. He protected me. I'm pretty sure he protected me, or maybe he was just distracting someone. But I know that some of the Italians are saying he off Jimmy the Shark.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
Remember him saving what's her face, the red one who fell off the roof.
Okay.
One of the administrators, which Jitters briefly looks at the two of you and then decides against saying something. He's like, they're like cops. You can't trust any of them. And then I ran. And then I ran.
So you didn't hear what Mr. Conductor said?
I didn't hear him say that much. He was up on top of a building.
That's actually, so there's a really good point, guys.
On top of a building during a firefight.
Who was actually in? Here's a real question based on that. I would like to actually bring Jitters as a witness with that in mind. for him to testify that point,
Mm-hmm.
right? Are we game for that, guys?
Well, we'd probably need to keep George's Mr. Conductor's identity hidden for the time that he is there testifying.
I feel like we can ask Mr. Station Master for that.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's probably a pretty easy ask, simply because they want to keep it secret anyways.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm like, Jitters, you have been through a lot, and despite everything, I do appreciate what you have done, more than you can know. But I need to ask you another favor,
Uh-huh.
and it's gonna be really weird, even for us.
Don't start it like that.
Yeah, it's a terrible way to start.
That is an awful
Don't,
way to start
Boogeyman,
it.
don't start it like that.
So do you expect me to
Why?
immediately see you just go, what?
He deserves to know. Let's be clear, Jitters. This isn't dangerous to you. It's just gonna be weird.
How do you feel about unicorns?
Jitters is clearly confused about how he ought to respond to that question.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm confused at where this is going.
There are giant unicorns in the station house thing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And posters of unicorns.
There's a lot of unicorns. It's a genuine question. You're not afraid of horses, are you, Jitters?
I'm
not afraid of horses.
That's good.
I've never really met a horse.
That's also fair.
When's the last time you got out of Chicago, Jitters?
A couple of years ago.
Do you like traveling?
Jitters clearly considering what he ought to say. He's like, I mean, I don't hate it. It's a little expensive though.
Well, tell you what, Jitters, we need your help with something. We need to go. We need you in a couple hours to come somewhere that you could say is a place of lots of travel. And we need you to tell some people what you just told us about the events of that night. And then you can go home.
Jitters is just sitting there. He's thinking. He looks over and says, Miss Shot, please tell me I'm not going to have to hide a body. I'm not very good at that.
Oh, don't worry about that. No. None of that.
All right.
You'll be talking to some very reputable folks. And not reputable by my standards, like actually reputable.
I'm gonna sidebar with Boogeyman real quick. I'm just gonna be like, I'm just gonna hold up my hand for 2 seconds, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, and just sidebar with Boogeyman real quick, and go. Would it be worse to tell him it's basically a trial by the mob or not?
I think for a sec. A trial by the mob?
Like a posse, because I don't want him to think that it's like law enforcement, because I imagine he has bad associations with that. But like, it's basically a tribunal.
It is. Yeah, we at least got to level that so he doesn't scoot. All right, let's.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna tell him it is a. Well, let me take care of this. All right, so like.
Okay.
Right,
Okay.
Jitters, I'm gonna level with you. We kind of need you as a witness for a trial, but not from the police of the city or any government or authority you've ever heard of.
Some friends.
He says, "Oh, all right. Yeah, I've done that before."
Okay.
Yeah.
See?
Just be called in as a normal witness. You give it a little testimony, and if you say what you said to me, it should help us out. It should keep the right people safe.
He's gonna nod. He's like, "All right, yeah, I think I can do that."
Okay. at some point. I'm not sure exactly how, but you've seen Mr. C's trains enough. One should come for you in a couple hours.
3.5 at this point.
Jitters is just going, all right. Man, I just poured this.
Have we ever had Jitters on a train, actually?
No.
Oh my god, Jitters has never ridden one of the trains.
Jitters has never ridden one of the trains.
Woohoo!
Well, other than I think being... Wait, has Izzy forced him away?
No, he's just on a regular defend, not a defend and redirect, I'm pretty sure.
Ooh, okay. Like,
I don't think I ever have. Like, I've never zoomed him out of location because
Okay.
he's been chosen to stay.
and like I said, don't worry about it, Jitters. The trains are, they're interesting. Just don't get too chatty with them, all right? They'll talk your ear off.
Snorts.
Yeah, Boogeyman is getting the most skeptical look from that, but Jitters is saying nothing.
All right.
Oh, if you get nauseous easy, don't look out the windows.
Yeah, it's kind of a real trip.
I think it's fun.
I don't really got a stomach to throw up anymore, Jot.
Yeah, that's why it's fun.
All right. Well, this has been a pleasure, Jitters. Keep being you. We'll see you in a couple hours. Enjoy your coffee.
Jitters is just gonna nod again. He can tell when he's in over his head.
I love Jitters so much.
That's why we keep bringing him in. It's hilarious.
It's the best.
Every time.
All right. I don't know if that was all our actions, but I guess we got Jitters to come with us.
You got
Oh
Jitters.
yeah.
Foundry still has an action. Does Foundry have any idea what he wants to do to prepare for this case?
No, not really. I think I'm just gonna boost myself.
Man, you're my main defense attorney, okay? You are the one who understands civic law because you're a union man. You can't screw this up. You need to be my Phoenix Wright.
I mean, union law and criminal law are not the same thing, even a little bit.
You're
Okay,
so
maybe
right
a
for
tiny
that.
bit occasionally.
Eh,
You have more overlap than everybody else here. I am confident in you, Mr.
Well,
Wright.
since I'm apparently a fucking defense attorney, can I roll principle of defender for this boost?
absolute. Well, not for a boost, but
Okay.
that's for an overcome. Do you want to try and overcome something to make a better case?
Oh boy. Definitely maybe.
Yeah.
I think here.
A solid maybe.
Okay, here's a thought.
Mhm.
So how much info does Mr. Conductor have as far as the so the charge 2, the regular operations of the station, is that just the tickets thing, or is there more to it?
That's mostly the tickets thing.
Okay. Can I draw up a plan to basically make reparations for that, and just be just to put that up on hey, this is we had a good reason for doing this, but for the legitimate operations of the station, here's our plan to fix that in a timely fashion. Let's just get rid of this charge.
Mm-hmm.
That seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one for me.
All right, principal defender is good for this.
Yep.
All right, let's. I forgot to put what I should make my. I forgot to put them in the chat. I was going to do a +3 and a +2 for my banks.
Yeah, just put them in there.
Oh, I forgot to do those last time too.
All right. Let's see. What chat did we put those in? Oh, boost and hinders. There we go.
Yep.
Oh wait, are we supposed to actually be recording that in that chat?
No, it's mostly on your sheet. You can put it there if you want to.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was not breaking any rules I was unaware of.
Store it where it makes sense for you, and you will remember where it is.
Fair.
All right.
Excuse me.
Let's burn the +3 on this
Hmm.
from that. So I will edit this. All right, just make. All right. So with that,
That gets you to a 7. Success.
oh, with defender and the +3, that's an 8.
Oh, you said +3, not +2. Yep, that's an 8. That is complete success. You good?
All right. So we have logistics to get legitimate tickets for people. I would put in I basically would put in the thing for trying to make them not unlimited time, because I know that Mr. Conductor feels a certain kind of way about that.
Why not just put a negotiation clause in there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is like a first, like this is a good first draft.
Or
Yeah.
Obviously, Mr. Station Master is probably going to have some questions about parts of this.
But you could even do like anyone with a lifetime ticket will receive a ticket for X amount of time with the ability to negotiate a further ticket length.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like there are options to renew.
Makes sense.
Okay, so that should help Charge 2 get a lot less traction.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that was the first round of actions, right?
Yep. And now we begin yellow.
All right. So
I guess I briefly stop by City Hall to do a tiny bit of work before getting back in, but mostly to go in response to them getting the summons of just like, oh good, you guys are finally believing in magic and magical stuff, and just be chaos and just try to get them to not show up on the grounds of, yep, no, magic it isn't real,
Mm-hmm.
and take advantage of that stupid obstinance. I'm assuming I have to use fake hat or creativity for this, and I cannot use otherworldly mythos or criminal law
Yes,
or
100%.
criminal info. Yeah.
Wait,
And we're in D8s now.
You have criminal law.
Sorry, criminal underworld info. I'm not sure why I said criminal law.
I'm not sure either.
That
The
would
ace
be
attorney is popping out.
Yeah, the ace
That would
attorney
be
continues.
hilarious. Seeing as how these are D8s, and I don't think I can really do things with that, I will spend 2 of my pluses for the session on this.
Mm-hmm.
And let's do 3 of the pluses for the session on this. So that is a 10.
Nice. And yeah, that is pretty effective at hitting the red tape. But she's like, I see. This is one of your people's pranks.
Yeah, I want to theoretically, since I would be doing this to the whole group, therefore get other members of the group who got an invite not to show up because of it. But yeah.
So here's the complicated thing. Not all of them are as zealous about this as she is.
Yeah, that's fair.
What I would say is, let me go double check which one of her people is which. No, that's not what I want to do. Roll 20. So you also get order going, okay, yes, obviously this is dumb, but your argument actually makes justice and discipline more interested.
Yes.
Damn it. Well, whatever. I got the red tape was the big one we wanted not to be there.
Yep, you got the big boss to be like, no, this is a stupid prank. We're ignoring this.
And maybe they'll be a little bit hesitant if they find out, if the boss finds out that they wasted time doing this when there's other work to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's clearly so much work to be done that you can't focus on a prank.
Yep. Clearly.
But yeah. After this, I will work on my arguments for the demons, so if other people want to hit the other ones, go ahead.
Okay. Well, what do those two, order? You said order and justice are the two that are interested.
Discipline
Discipline
and
and
justice.
justice.
Okay. So what type of problems do they handle?
So the things that you know, and give me 1 second to open this to reconfirm because I have too many NPCs for this game, and I can freely acknowledge that. So the big one is Justice. Justice is the Earthbender who also handles things like. She mostly handles stuff that is like actual dangers to the city and like construction things and trapping people.
Like if people are trapped and stuff.
Like yeah, if people are trapped in buildings, or basically if the red tape herself isn't there, Justice is the one actually taking people in because she kind of just earth bends the asphalt around them, and now they can't do anything.
But you said discipline was the earthbender.
No, Justice is the earthbender.
Oh, okay.
All right, let me think.
And then discipline's thing is
Discipline's thing is not quite sure. Like she definitely has some sort of power. People debate whether like is it precog, is it like superhuman speed, is it something weird where like just a crack shot and things that ought to hit her narrowly miss all the time.
Is there any way to keep them busy?
Tips to where the mob maybe is hiding might not be the worst thing. Or where other criminals are. Mob/mafia.
I mean, I could probably use my connections to send them on a wild goose chase.
Mm-hmm.
Like drop a hint about something not really happening, but just legitimate enough that they have to investigate it.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, very fair. I can also still go with plan. Let me see how what story I can get. To see if I can get a conference called or something.
Oh, why don't we do both?
Yeah.
All right, so Nick, I'm going to use my principle of the underworld.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to do what I said and basically like set up a rumor about some big stuff going down that hopefully they need to investigate.
Mm-hmm.
Try to tailor it in a way that it would be like Justice would have to go deal with it.
Yep.
Since Justice is like pretty specialized to deal with like accident stuff.
Yep.
Maybe something where like there's like they're planning like a demolition of a building or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Someone's gonna drop an overpass.
Yeah. Again, this won't actually happen. I'm literally just seeding rumors.
Yep. Sounds good to me.
All right, let's use. Let's see, what do I want to use? Any boosts on this? I'll use 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give myself a +2 for this. Okay, so that unfortunately doesn't help. That makes it a 7. But I will use my once a session ignore a minor twist.
Sounds perfect.
Oh no, wait! I'm using principle of the underworld. It is a full success.
Yeah, that's a full success with that.
Yeah, because I had the +2. So hopefully that should run one or both of them on a wild goose chase.
So because of what happened with Good Spirits, 1 success is not enough to get both of them, or even one of them right
Okay, so we have to keep working on it.
Yep, you got to keep working on this one.
I'm assuming
But
it's because the
I
red
had a
tape order-
complete success. Why were there complications?
No, you got two. You got two of them to leave.
Okay.
I'm assuming making them all leave is much harder than getting just 2 of them to leave.
Yes. Like, here's the thing. Honestly, the red tape was the easiest one of them to get to stop.
You know, that's so fucking fair given everything that.
That's fair.
Yeah. Just like she doesn't care. She knows who I am now.
And magic's not real.
And magic's not
Yeah,
real.
so whatever. So plan journalism for the win is what I'm going for then.
Go for it.
That might be it. What if you even get like, since she's good, what if you make force some discipline into a press conference?
My thought is that if I just like try and hook all of them, I'll hook someone, probably not red tape because she's actually busy, but you know, delegation.
That's fair.
Mhm.
That's my thought. I'm using principle of detective for this,
Oh yeah.
if it is allowed. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
100%.
I am going to use my little newsy network to boost me for this.
Mm-hmm.
You call on my son to help me.
No, I call on Nadia, who hasn't come up on screen, but I've given her such intense backstory, but it doesn't matter.
You have.
I have. She actually likes unicorns, so this works. And I'm going to use some of my banked hero points on this because I'm pulling on both the pictures I have of red tapes, strings that look very magical and weird to kind of go with the hey, you're working with good spirits angle. And so using a +3, I banked from that, and then a +3 from another time during the strikeout. Her cronies were there, and they didn't really bother anyone on our team, is what I am going to argue. So clearly there is things going on.
There's collusion and shenanigans in City Hall.
Exactly, and that's a +7.
Damn you.
2 and 8.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
Ruth knowing how to do journalism to bother people? What?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that just gets you. That gets you. Both of them are now too distracted to show.
So we've got everyone.
I write up this article and I hand it to Eddie, and I'm just Eddie, my editor, and I'm just like, this is gonna be a good one.
And it's just like, are you sure? You sure you want to take the heat from this?
Oh, come on, Ed. Where's the fun if I don't write the truth?
Yeah.
You know what? All right. Just wanted to check, make sure you were good for it.
All right. So that takes care of the red tape and her entourage.
Yep.
I don't think we can take care of you, Ash.
No, that's not happening. Physically cannot happen.
I think.
Yeah.
I think if we tried to take care of me, Mr. Station Master would be very annoyed.
It's more, if you don't show up as a witness, you also can't show up to help argue.
Yeah.
You are far more valuable showing up, helping, arguing, even if you add an extra overcome to the track.
Just gonna have to be very careful what you say.
All right, we have Foundry and Mr. C left.
I don't know. What do you think, in Foundry? Is there a better way we can rephrase this? That way we can actually have documentation drawn up. Because I was planning on giving credit back to everybody whose tickets had been broken, but I do want it to be on when they're purchased. That each ticket is associated with a single individual. That way they can't just be freely transferred.
I think the angle that we need is to say that the lack of tracking of ticket transfer is itself a massive problem for the smooth operation of the train system, and thus our system, while we perhaps didn't go through the proper channels, we were trying to solve a much broader systemic issue.
Indeed. And honestly, the fact that I know the trains have been abused like over the years by people calling them in like at times to deal with their own personal problems, and it's not just for transportation. I mean,
Do you know of a specific train we could call to attest to that?
he doesn't like to be bothered. But yeah,
Would he for a good cause?
I don't know where I stand with him. I mean, he did finally come when I called him for the first time in the fight today or yesterday. Is it yesterday or today, Nick?
Yeah, it's today.
It was today. Um, in the fight earlier, but I don't know. Everybody's always said that Diesel prefers to be left alone, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if he'll speak on my behalf or he'll speak against me.
Hmm.
Is that a worthy overcome to make? Is the question, Nick?
Mm-hmm.
Should I go and see if I can track down Diesel, or at least know if he wants to have anything to do with me?
That sounds like a wonderful role play moment that you should.
That
just
sounds
do
like a good
because-
roleplay moment, Izzy. And maybe
Alright.
an overcome. But
All
yeah,
right.
you can track down Diesel. You're at the train station.
All right. Foundry, would you like to accompany me? Let's see what he thinks.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Now, if I remember last time, his berth was at the end of the main circle. Over there, I say as we're like stepping out, and I'm going to point across one of those track switches. I forget what the Lazy Susan for trains are called.
Oh, I know what
I
you're
guess-
talking about, and I don't remember.
Is
the
it just a
name.
turntable?
Yes, turntable. Thank you.
Mhm.
He's over there in the berth at the far left of the turntable, and I'll just kind of like have us staying on the gravel off the tracks so we don't impede anybody coming in or out.
Mm-hmm.
Is his bunk opened or is it shut, as it was last time I visited?
It's shut. You're gonna have to knock.
Okay, yeah, I will knock.
Who is it?
It's me, George, Mr. Conductor. Doing okay, Diesel?
Doing fine. What do you need?
Just wanted to talk to you. Wanted to get your
Why?
opinion on something. So, I'm sure you've heard at this point, but there's going to be a tribunal later today to determine my fate. But one of the things that I wanted to bring up was, I guess, to change how ticketing works. I know your history is a bit, well, jarring, but I wanted to run some of these ideas by you to see what your thoughts were. Like, I know in the past, the previous Mr. Conductor constantly called you to take on a bunch of tickets, and there were no real regulations to deal with that. What I'm hoping to start putting forward, if I keep my position, is to make it so tickets once purchased have to be used by the designated individual upon time of purchase, and that Mr. Conductor will always be aware of who is on the train, on the tracks at any given time. That way, a ticket just can't be randomly called in and people can abuse the magic train yard, abuse the trains, abuse you. I'm just gonna sit back. Does he open the door at all at this point, or am I still just talking through the door? Did I cut out?
No, you're there. I'm thinking of his response.
Okay, that's fair.
It takes a while. It takes a long while, but eventually the door has it cracks open slightly. Like, all right, slide whatever this thing is.
I guess I'll slide the rough draft in that me and Foundry had worked up.
I ain't promising nothing, but I'll read it.
I appreciate that. I just want to know what your opinion is to see if you think it'll help. Because I do think some changes need to be made, even if I'm no longer going to be the one here to make those changes. But I think it should go down in the books. I'll just, slide the paper over to him. He'll pick it up with, I guess, his train hands.
Yep. There's the reason why you can't open the door. Then you'd be able to see them. Trains with naked hands, scandalous.
Yeah, no.
That just brings up all of the nightmare pictures we keep showing of like Morph Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yep.
Spiders, yeah. No, it's like the biology in Disney Pixar cars. How do they work?
So it is like after about probably 10 minutes, you just your diesel. It's gonna make a lot of people real mad.
I mean, I've already made a lot of people mad. What's a few more? But the question is it better for you? Is it better for the rest of the trains?
And it's better for me. That's easy.
Then that's what the
There's-
argument would be.
Gotta
What
think
the
about it.
hell was that?
Mic glitch maybe?
No, something just came crashing down in my bathroom.
Uh-oh.
It's
This
okay.
sounds like it might be a good breaking point where Diesel says like, all right, I'll think about it. Come back later.
All right, I appreciate it, Diesel. Should I make a roll or anything to see if I can at least get what his general first impression is beyond? Is it like more positive? Is it more negative? Or is it just very bleh?
It's he's not used to being asked to do anything like this.
Okay. I'm going to turn to Foundry. Anything else we should add?
That's all I can think of.
Okay. Nick, if that's the case, I'm just going to use this action then, I guess, as a boost for myself and Foundry.
I think handing it over to him is I basically give you an auto success and an overcome for this one, given what argument you made.
That's fine. I'm perfectly happy with that.
It's going to take a little bit more to convince Diesel to not be an antisocial train.
That's fine. I
But
wasn't
your first
expecting him to do a complete 180 without work.
Yep.
Choo-choo. Okay.
Choo-choo. All right, Foundry. What boosting are you going to do? Or overcomes?
Let's see. We're in pretty decent shape as far as that goes. As far as the second charge goes. So I think I need more help with. You know what? Can I do a boost for helping to research the rules as far as soul claims for charge 3?
Yeah.
So I feel like we're really gonna have to dig into that one because that feels like the really ugly one.
That is one of the.
I have the counterclaim on that one, but yes, give me a boost.
Yeah, like I think we're gonna need more than just the counterclaim. So let's see here. So for boosting, I don't know what I would use for this.
Are you trying to? Yeah.
I mean, I can use blue collar, but what do I use for powers?
Let me double check your sheet.
Um,
Yeah, you do not have that much in regards to powers for this one.
You're clearly you need to roll powered suit because your book or your mech is going to be, quickly flipping through pages, scanning things, and auto translating for you.
I mean, if Nick will let me get away with having effectively an AI in the 1920s.
I don't think so. I think that would need to be set up more.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
But
Honestly, I should
you
probably.
declared that the suit could talk while we are in the train room.
Oh shit, you're
Therefore,
right. Yeah, no.
Oh,
train yard
that's
you made
true.
the suit a person in the train realm. So therefore,
that is fair. Good argument, Sean.
All right, let's do it. We're cracked. We're so cracked. All right, let's see how. Oh, I had the wrong window open. How did we do? Yeah.
Why did you roll inventions and why did you roll green?
Because
Yeah,
my stuff's all the same.
Matter.
I rolled it's fine because I was using defender, so oh no, actually I can't use defender, so it's a +1.
Yep.
It's just a boost. It's fine.
It sounds like Foundry got very distracted by the fact that his suit talks now.
Yeah, let's go with that. What?
I'm gonna steal a little bit of magic, no matter how this trial turns out, just so this mech can keep talking after this trial.
You're horrible.
You're too awful to do that.
I mean, we're gonna add some additional magic metal while we're here to outfit this sucker.
It's true. Okay. I need the bathroom. Please discuss what you guys' plans in red are. I'll be right back.
My plans in red are 2 more overcomes because that demon's claim on the soul is invalid.
I was just gonna do boosts.
I have no idea if I should be talking to Diesel again or if I should be talking to one of the other trains.
I think my main thing is I need to discuss with Nick of like, okay, what power? Because like, I'd want to argue that I can use Infernal, and that I would be using knowledge of Infernal, not the fact I have Infernal magic, so that I should still get to use that power despite my earlier stuff.
All right. Well, what else? Are there any other witnesses we can get, or any other witnesses we want to get rid of?
So we got rid of all the witnesses for 1 except for Satanic Shot.
Right, but do we have to get rid of any for 2?
We should.
I mean, I don't know. I thought I took care of Gwen last time with the with giving him the ticket that'll last for several centuries. We can make the same offer to Malgwin, but I can't leave the train yard, so I'd have to send somebody to do it.
All right, I've returned.
We also have to deal with the fact that we're going to deal with Mercury too.
Nobody knows who Mercury is, correct? In character?
In character, we have no idea.
I mean,
Nick, do I have any clue who Mercury is in character?
Okay, given the context, yeah, Good Spirit, you're 90% sure that's the god.
Guys, it's Mercury. Come on.
Yeah.
But let me rephrase that. We personally do not know this individual nor have ever met this person.
I feel
Nick,
like we can
have
make
I
some
personally met
connections.
Mercury?
Okay, yeah, we can guess it's the Roman god, the Roman messenger god. Tracking him down in an hour when we have never met him before, I think, is a tall order.
Yeah,
Nick.
so I'm gonna say, Good Spirits, you probably have seen him ever, but haven't really met him.
Yeah, that makes sense with my level of not importance.
Yep.
Meanwhile, I'm like,
Also,
the
Nick.
fuck is a Mercury?
It's a planet.
Also, Nick, for rolling for, hey, I'm the one with the bigger claim, your claim is invalid, this charge is entirely false. Can I use Infernal even though I gave my magic to Gwen? Because I'm using the knowledge associated with that?
No, Sean, because you have none of the actual claims or powers right now for that. If you could convince Gwyn to make that statement, though, since he is the one who currently has the claim and actually had the claim at the time.
Fine, let's.
Are we doing the red stuff now?
Yeah, it's red stuff time.
Yeah, so I think sending Good Spirits to talk to Tagarim would make the most sense right now, so we can talk to him about, first off, the ticket situation, and second off, stating that there is a claim on the soul for accusation 3. I
mean, I'd like to make an overcome involving that. I'd like to make a claim on my own goddamn soul. You guys hear me?
I
Yep.
can hear
Yes.
you, X.
Yes, we hear you and support you.
I mean, that is valid.
The fact that I am not dead yet, that I pulled that, a lot of escaping that was my own goddamn will, and I am not ready to go down for that. Also, by contract, I'm not ready to go down to that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So X,
and
that one's an overcome that you more make during the trial.
Okay. So I
Yeah,
don't need to like do anything to reinforce my own soul.
I mean, you could boost yourself to
You
make
could
this
boost
roll
yourself
later.
by looking up legal precedents.
Yeah, I'd like to get in contact with not Gwen, currently Tagarin, to discuss the fact that, like, the other claim on the soul would be invalid based off of the claim associated with Gwen, with the contract with Gwen, and also what my actions are that led to the boogeyman to begin with, and that technically as Tagarin, he's the one who has to kind of make that statement or make that statement with me.
Mm-hmm.
Little unclear on how this works at the moment because I wasn't expecting train tribunal to happen during when the trade of titles and everything was happening.
Yep.
Couldn't have waited one extra session for that, Izzy.
No. This is a climax.
Yep. Okay, so let's run good spirits with him. So yeah, you can get in touch with him pretty quickly because well, he has also been summoned. You're actually like, all right, I'm gonna go find him. He's in the cafeteria right now.
Eats? Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't he?
Good spirit drinks. It's the same principle.
Yeah.
And the
This-
Magic Trade Yard has a lot of delicacies from all across dimensions.
I mean,
And
you're
most
still
offerings were food or drink.
you're still a living creature, right? Living
Yeah.
creatures gotta eat.
So
Tea cake.
we'll go up and be like, hey, so how has the past couple of hours since triggered that been dealing with it been for you?
You have a lot of work to do for your city.
Yeah, know about that. It's a work in progress. We kind of stated it was going to be a work in progress when we made the deal.
And yet it is still true.
But I was wondering about what the trial that you were being brought in on. Some demons are apparently trying to claim that the transfer of the boogeyman's soul was invalid because they had a claim on that, and and I can't say I'm an expert on this, but I believe you/me have the much higher claim on that soul than them.
It is a complicated matter because my claim is about transporting him to them.
And by contract, that isn't supposed to happen for another it happen yet. And my claim, though, however, going back to when his body was left alone, and no one gave last rites, I'd say it would be sticking around. But based off the change of titles, I'd need you to be the one to make that argument.
I am not aware of where you got the claim, but I can call upon you during the trial to explain it.
Very well. Hey, it is part of the old ways that a Katesith is allowed to claim a soul.
This is true. You will merely need to describe the act of claiming.
Yeah, I guess I can. I should be able to do that. I think I have most of the details straight.
Gwyn just sighs, and with that,
Yes, also out of character, I wanted to make sure this would come up during this trial
I
because
did
it's the
too.
only time it's going to come up.
I absolutely wanted to make sure it came up during this trial. So, yeah, like he can roughly read, like he will make a statement about against the demons for 3. We'll move good spirits down. Who wishes to take next red action?
I mean, again, do we have any other witnesses we can call?
So, do you want me to give you any advice about this, or should I remain silent?
I say you remain silent. Don't give us advice for this. We need to dig our own holes.
I just
Exactly.
I just don't remember enough of the characters involved.
Right.
I mean, I don't know how many people. I mean, again, I don't think character witnesses are going to help us for this.
No.
The only one I could think of would be Iota arguing that this was inevitable.
I mean, we could do that.
If she'd be willing to do that.
That's more your action though, because you've worked with Iota the most.
Yeah, but Sean
I have
also,
no idea who this woman is.
Yeah, Sean also has to finalize his claim. Iota is.
Well, I think with Gwen that just got worked out.
Yeah, Gwyn is going to bring it up, and then Good Spirits has to testify about what happened.
Okay, so that's an overcome he has to make during the trial. Got it.
That's during the trial. You're not getting the charge thrown out pre-trial for this.
Of course not. I thought he had to make another overcome to know what he was going to say ahead of time, but no.
Nope.
Okay. Okay, so that's a good spirits thing. I'm just thinking through all of the allies we've had over the years. And by over the years, I mean over the weeks, because we've only been doing this for 6 months.
Remember, character weaknesses may not necessarily help you with overcomes, but they can help you with what the result is at the end.
All right.
True.
Well, are we allowed to? We got to be careful who we bring in, though. This would be character witnesses for Mr. Conductor, not George, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Someone who knows.
I
who
mean,
George is already.
we could bring in why am I blanking on his name?
So I was thinking.
I know exactly who I want to bring in. I got it.
I mean,
Rasputin, clearly.
No.
So the thoughts I had on this then are, first, one of us needs to talk to Mr. Station Master about masking my identity, and then a whole host of people opens the door about that, and we can call in Marty Sloan. We can call in the frickin' editor that I went to visit that one time.
All right,
Should we visit that one time?
Huh?
The editor you went to visit one time resulted in a very bad story about you. Unless you're talking about a different editor.
No, I'm talking about that editor.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that one's a good pick.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Let me go talk to. I'll go talk to Station Master.
Okay.
I don't know if is this going to be an overcome, Nick, or is this just generally good sense for him?
Depends on what you're trying to get out of this, or where are you going to him with? Because he's mostly just managing the trains.
All right, I'll go talk to him just as he's working. I'm like, hey, Mr. Station Master, right?
That's correct. How would you like to be referred to by? I know you by at least 3 names.
While we're not on trial and things are just around here, Rocco's fine. During the trial, the boogeyman, if you please.
Very well, Rocco.
That's kind of what I want to come talk to you about, actually. So, for the trial, just so things can run smoothly, I wanted to ask if a certain procedure could be in place.
I'm listening. What would you like to have in place?
So, if, for the most part, Can we can the trial be for Mr. Conductor, not as much George Trainland? Now hear me out. Technically the same person, yes. But the thing on trial here is really whether George gets to stay Mr. Conductor, correct?
That's correct.
So in all respects, this is about Mr. Conductor saying Mr. Conductor. Because of that, and because of the clause that, as I understand it, he is not supposed to reveal he is Mr. Conductor to those not allowed to be in the know.
That's correct.
So if we were to pull in if anyone was to come as a witness on either side who did not know his identity, anyone calling him George Tradeland simply promotes that identity further and breaks the rule further.
I see what you're gesturing at.
All I'm asking is that during the trial, he is allowed to be Mr. Conductor in uniform, name, and title.
I think this is a fair request. However, for the purposes of the trial, he is not to use any of the abilities bestowed upon Mr. Conductor.
Understood. Again, like I said, this is more title without power in this case. Simply because if there are anyone that doesn't know, why let the cat out of the bag accidentally, right?
Yes. Come to me with a list of witnesses you would like to call if and when you have that generated.
Yeah. We'll be by at the end of the hour. We're still working on our full list. But thanks, Mr. S. George talks about you a lot, with a lot of praise and a lot of reverence. I hope you're as fair as he makes you out to be.
I try to be.
All right, and I'm gonna head back.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yep. No need for an overcome for that one. He will just give that to you.
I figured
Oh, yeah.
a good train of logic would help there.
Hey.
Hashtag trade puns.
It's the entire session. But
Yes.
now it's a question of, do we want to do Mr. C, Foundry, or Satanic Shot?
Do either of you guys have an idea? Because my thought is just, if I'm now allowed tons of witnesses, I'm just gonna go speak to the trains who I use on the regular and see if any of them want to testify.
Yeah, you can talk to the trains. I figured if I can go talk to Marty Sloan because I also know him.
I mean, I can try to boost you with the trains, and maybe having a talking robot will also help with the trains.
Sure.
The trains love their... Is it little brother or little sister, Foundry?
I say, hey, dumb idea. Let's put the mech on trial.
No.
Why?
Foundry's mech can be a witness.
To answer your question, Nick, let me see if I have a die nearby.
You're not on trial. Foundry's mech can be a witness. He's a character witness. He's seen it all.
You have access to dies in Roll20. Come on.
That's no fun. I need a physical die. Hold on.
Physical die are better for this.
All right, I have a brand new pack of Blood Bowl Nurgle dice. Let me open these up.
All right. What is the answer? Injury or touchdown?
We will find out.
Is that going to be their name? Injury or touchdown?
No, I wouldn't give a shit. Yeah, Chicago wouldn't give it in the 20s. Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not football.
Yeah, it's definitely more baseball.
Yeah, I'd say we're definitely in the baseball era.
I did have a plan to make you guys fight on a baseball diamond at one point, but
You can still have that plan. It can be. It can still happen.
that is fair.
The trial can still change locations.
The trial is now on the baseball field. They call for recess, and we just go to the baseball field.
Yeah. What are you doing? Well, it's recess. We gotta play sports. You know how
Exactly.
we all went to school.
Yeah. If you just hang out in the courtyard, you'll get yelled at by teachers.
All right, according to the dice, it's male.
Okay, yeah. So Foundry, roll a boost because the trains do love their little brother.
Excellent. Roll. Okay. Is that I forget if that's the cutoff for a +2 or if that's still a +1.
That is a +2.
All right.
Alrighty. So yeah, I'm just going to go, I guess, into one of the main stationaries where I know most of the trains that I usually summon. Everyone from Thomas, Percy, Gordon, James, Bill and Ben, Toby. You want me to keep naming them?
No. Izzy, give me an overcome, and we'll determine how many of them, we'll determine how many of them give useful testimony.
Okay. I'm just going to be like, look, you all know what's going on within the tribunal. I wanted to know, since we've all worked together so much, if any of you would be willing to, come forth and, give a character witness testimony to me for all the other trains who are not aware of me and for all, the beings who are going to be present. I mean, I would like to keep my station, and I think the only way to do that is for all of you to kind of like rally up and make your thoughts known. And let's see, I'm still in conductor mode. I'm gonna roll trains, Nick.
Yep.
And I guess insight.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and roll. That is a 4.
You got a +2.
That is a 6. Is still. I will negate this minor twist. I will make it a full success.
Sounds good. And I think the answer from this is a bunch of the trains are kind of supportive, but you realize that basically none of them actually have a single wit about how to give good testimony or what the law you actually broke was, except for Thomas.
Oh, babies.
Oh
They'd be great character witnesses. Many of them are actively unhelpful in regards to arguing about the actual charges.
Babies.
Except for Thomas, who actually says some pretty sensible things and is happy to be a witness for you.
Okay, well, I'm still going to ask them all to be witnesses, even if they don't contribute much. We're totally going Big Daddy trial on this, just parading as many people as we can up there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Nick, I have a secret question to ask you because I may keep this hidden.
Go for it.
You guys keep going. I'll type it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that was
I
Mr.
was
Sam
gonna.
Foundry. What is Satanic Shot doing for Red?
I'm gonna go visit my good friend Marty Sloan, who I haven't talked to since I had my mental breakdown.
Reasonable.
Oh boy.
I imagine he is still at the police station at this point because he is the one good cop in Chicago. So of course he is working overtime.
He is working overtime trying to properly book all of the people that got arrested 5 hours ago.
I come in with coffee knowing this about him. And I'm just like, really rough day, wasn't it?
Don't even tell me the half of it. This is... God, I don't even know what this is.
Well, I hate to tell you, Marty, but you only have the half of it. There's some bigger problems going on right now. Mr. C is kind of in big shit right now.
Mr. C's in. Why is Mr. C in trouble?
Well, in all honesty, I don't really understand it myself, but
I know City Hall's pissed at him. Is it about that?
um, basically, without giving away too many details, because I'm not really I'm not really fully briefed on the whole situation myself. The person who made Mr. C, is calling for a tribunal because he doesn't think he's competent enough to be Mr. C anymore.
Oh, God damn it. It's Sergeant Voorhees all over it again. Is there anything I can do to help him?
Yeah, we were actually trying to get together a couple character witnesses, if you'd be willing to, like, talk about that.
Absolutely. When's this trial going to be?
Looks at watch. Less than 2 hours.
Oh, I gotta go.
About.
He's just looking at us like, I gotta get through a lot of paperwork.
Welcome with
Do
the
you need a
paperwork.
hand for a little bit?
Please. And Ruth helps
That is my.
Officer Sloan with paperwork.
Yeah. This feels like how most of their conversations probably would have gone.
Yup.
Does he know your satanic shot?
Yes. Yes, he does.
Yeah, so Nick, I had a question. I posted it. Let me know answer. And you'll understand why I'm keeping this hidden right now.
No.
Okay. Okay. Who still has actions left?
Well, you're at the start of final round of red.
Okay, so everyone's okay.
You got a plan, big guy?
Kind of. Can you and I talk in a private channel actually for a minute? Specifically you and me?
I'm
Nick,
assuming
can
this
we?
is grabbing Ruth and you, Wex. I can
Yes. Real quick.
Yeah, 1 minute. I'm going.
You should go get them so you can record.
I am.
So,
All right.
here's the fun thing I'm thinking of.
Excellent.
How you feel about bringing the sun in on this?
Wait, what?
Bringing George's son as a character witness.
Oh my god.
He doesn't know that Mr. George is Mr. C.
He doesn't.
That's actually pretty good.
Right? That's why I'm keeping it on the DL here, because I'd like to go do that. But I don't know if I know about this in character, unless you guys have told me about. I think you guys have told me about it at this point, right?
You know that Mr. C has definitely mentioned that he has a wife and a child.
I do know that, so I probably would pick your brains about it specifically. So
You would definitely see, like, Ruth has been trying to map out the logic of jumps that she personally had to take to put together that George Trainland is Mr.
Yeah.
Conductor,
No,
to try and prove that you need, like, there's a lot of jumps, and the one thing that happened wouldn't get you there.
And Nick, I want to know too. This is not even about that. It's It's also do we know what's his name? Carl.
Yeah, Carl.
Yeah.
Does Carl know about Mr. Conductor? Not that George is Mr. Conductor, just about the hero Mr. Conductor.
Oh, absolutely. Carl's a newsie. Mr. C's been at the papers a lot.
What is Carl's opinion on Mr. Conductor?
He likes him.
Okay, sees him as a good guy.
Yeah, he thinks he's a good guy. He doesn't think Mr. C's necessarily that smart, given the giant hit piece that came out about him, but he thinks that his heart's in the right place.
Okay. I would like to use my action secretly right now under this cover to go talk to Carl as probably as Rocco, actually. And ask him to help support Mr. Conductor Just because, again, as Rocco, I do know these heroes, and I'll be like, Mr. Conductor came to talk to me, and I'll drop Ruth as a reference for this as well.
Mm-hmm.
Can I use my action to convince Carl to be a character witness and testify?
Absolutely.
Okay, that is my secret action. I take it, and let's go back to the main channel.
You're
Sounds
insane
good.
and I love you.
This is fantastic.
I don't want Izzy to know this, so let's do it.
All right.
Maybe.
The boogeyman has taken an action.
Okay, I've taken my action.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
Well,
did we lose somebody?
No.
Did
I jumped off because I couldn't drag myself, so I just.
Sorry, we had to have a super special secret conversation.
Yes, nothing happened. Don't worry about it.
No trains allowed.
Specifically trains.
you guys are training for something?
Yep. All right.
Yuck, 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 yuck,
Yuck, yuck, yuck, yuck, yuck. Who else would like to take the next action for what happens next?
I guess we're in second round of red, and I can go off to try and talk with Iota.
Mm-hmm.
And get her opinion on this. Because I am pretty sure, based off the fact that Iota knew my name without me telling her, she knows who Mr. Conductor is, despite the fact he never told her.
Mm-hmm. Reasonable assumptions, reasonable assumptions. So you go, like, I'm assuming you contact her in the normal way.
Yeah, because I can't really do it with animals at the moment.
Yep. So she's like, all right. She's like, glad that you've figured out how to use a phone. Good progress.
Yeah, it's really not convenient for paws.
Can't you just turn into human form?
Oh, I thought you would know, but I don't have access to my shapeshifting really at the moment.
You see, I know a lot of things, but I try and avoid the details because if I know the details, it causes problems.
Oh, so you didn't see it? So you didn't get to see how I dealt with what you told me, which is still a little bit of a work in progress, but like,
All right.
I'm kind of proud of how I handled that.
Different. It's been 4 hours. So far, the city's not on fire any more than I thought it would be, but it's been 4 hours.
Okay, that's fair. So how much do you know, or had you looked into Mr. Conductor in the past?
Okay, you already know who Mr. Conductor is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's done a pretty good job. There's a lot of tragedy in that man's life.
Well, there is a kind of magical trial going on with him. Would you be willing and or able to help out with it?
Help out how?
Well, one, a character witness could be helpful, and the other thing is that I'm not sure how much he looked into how the whole thing works.
No comment.
Okay. But there's accusations of breaking some tenants related to that will be brought up during this trial, and if you would be able to put any support or argument towards those being outside of his control.
Okay, but now we're getting into the weird existential problem of what is really in anyone's control. Either way, I'm down to help. It isn't like, he's on trial and we have to break him out of jail.
Yeah, no, it's the thing of we need to argue that he is a force of it. From my understanding, we need to argue that the accusations against him aren't his fault, or shouldn't be relevant, and that he does a good job. And I think that is a force of good for the city that hasn't really been brought up as one of the things that we need to actually talk about, but it's been mentioned several times, so I assume it's good to mention more.
Yeah, I can help you out with this.
Well, we'll be sending a train, I'm not sure which one shortly then.
Well, I'll be as ready as I can be for how many hours?
Nick, 2?
Yeah, probably about no less than an hour at this point.
About less than an hour.
Oh. Well, let me wind this down then, because I don't want to leave it by itself.
Knowing nothing about whatever you're doing, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, let's we don't
Not
want rolling
necessarily
blackouts.
not necessarily the most fun response, but definitely probably what others would say is a good idea.
Yeah, all right. See you in soon.
But
All right, you got another witness?
This witness list is going to be crazy.
Yeah, it
Yep.
will be.
It's gonna be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
All right, how many we only have a couple actions left, right?
You have 3
Yeah.
left.
Yep. All right. I guess I don't know. Does it make? I'm gonna go and poke my head back in after because it's been a couple of hours and see if what Diesel's thoughts are. So I'll just head back over to his berth. Me again.
All right. All right, Mr. C. I don't really know about this economy thing you got going. Like, there's a lot of numbers in this. I'm not really a numbers guy.
I am a train after all.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. Trains don't need to
But-
worry too much about numbers.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like it's gonna make people mad, but maybe they should be mad. Maybe things haven't been great for a while. Not just for me, but for everybody.
Well, that's why I wanted to come to you. Do you think, at least what we've outlined, that this will make things better for all of you? I don't want you to sugarcoat it. I wouldn't expect it to, but I want to know the truth.
I mean, I think it'd be better for most of us. There are some of us who like just going everywhere more, and tickets are going to be down with this. At least what I can tell from the numbers, a bunch of people are going to try and find other ways to do stuff.
I mean, I don't think tickets will be down. It's just tickets made early will probably be down. But if people ever need tickets, that just is more reason for well, all the trains and Mr. Conductor to be vigilant about finding, who wants a ticket and who can, pay for it, same as before. And if there are some trains who want to go to different realms and keep track of that, we can, change some routes and make sure that they're, doing that so they can see all the different areas, the different realms, different dimensions.
Yeah. What is you sure you're gonna? You sure you can handle all that work?
I don't know, but I'm going to try. It's all anybody can do. I mean, it like you said, it's got to be better than the way things used to be run. And hopefully enough people will see that and then, change can be made.
Yeah.
It's only with a lot of support and a lot of hard work that you can make real change in the world. And hopefully the change you make when you've got enough support You want to make sure that it's the right kind of change. I'm going to say that as I, pat the side of him.
Yeah, Mr. C. Pretty sure you could get like all the trains in if you add something. That
If I did,
like if you add in there that there's always going to be work for us.
I thought that went without saying. I mean, I can trivially add that in. Why wouldn't there be work for you?
I mean, didn't used to be the magic train yard.
Yeah, I keep hearing that it used to be carriages. What happened to the carriages? I
We're
thought you
faster.
all.
We're faster. We're bigger. We can haul more stuff.
See, I was under the impression that all of you started out as carriages and then magically became trains.
Some of them, yeah. Like Tommy, he's been here. I don't even know how old he is. Maybe he's old Mr. Station Master.
Wait, Foundry's that old?
Who's Foundry? Tommy, the blue one.
Right, Thomas. Sorry. There's too many Toms.
He's the oldest one, at least I think. I wasn't a carriage. I know there were some ironclad carriages. I tell you, they did some work, and I hear before carriages it was chariots. I don't really know.
So you'd say you're one of the younger ones in the train yard?
Yeah.
Is there a section in the book that you know of which would explain all this to me? Because I feel like I'm woefully. I lack a lot of knowledge that I think I should have while being in my position.
There's a book?
Okay, that answers that. Yeah, they're. Well, you know what? Hell with the book. I think the best way to get answers is just to come out in the tracks here and talk to all of you more often. I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna put that in the report to Nick as something Mr. Conductor should do. After a set amount of time, probably at least annually, is talk to every train.
Yep.
Because I have no idea how many trains there are in total, do I?
No, you do not.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought.
You have definitely not talked to all the trains.
Okay. I'm going to have to make that a point to make sure I meet with everybody and speak to them. But thank you for your insight, Diesel.
Yeah, and, when's the trial, Mr. C?
Gonna pull out my pocket watch, look at it. Very soon. Within the hour.
All right. Good luck, Mr. C.
Would you be willing to come?
I was sitting there full of was like, yeah. Not sure I'll be there the whole time, but yeah. Yeah, I'll be there.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And I'm gonna. Would you mind giving me a ride? Can't be late for my own trial.
Yeah. Hop aboard, Mr. C.
Choo choo!
Yep.
Gonna hop on. And I don't know what this action should be. I'm just assuming this is an auto overcome to.
I'm giving you guys some autos when it makes sense.
Gotcha.
Role playing.
Yep.
Role playing. I was gonna say I'll totally boost Diesel if he's gonna be a character witness at some point.
Mm-hmm. All right. We have Satanic Shot and Foundry left before the trial begins.
Oh boy.
Is there a phone booth in the station?
No, but they can drop you off anywhere, basically.
True. What hour is it currently?
It's probably like 10 p.m. Good call.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna visit my mom and pick her brain for my logical argument because she was prosecutor until she retired.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck?
That makes
I
sense.
mentioned this.
Yeah.
Ruth would really prefer to call, but yeah, she'll visit her in person.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you can get dropped off and picked back up, and I'm just like, you're not in any trouble, are you, dear?
Well, no, but a couple of my friends are. So I was wondering if I could pick your brain on some of the arguments that we're trying to run past for his trial.
All right.
It's really weird, honestly, but he's a good bloke, so I don't really want everything to kind of blow up in his face, you know?
She's just gonna nod at this. I was like, well, we'll do it. She's gonna be very confused by any reference. So she's like, all right. So first off, like, what district is it in? What city?
It's just lying through my teeth for most of it. I'm just like, well, it's kind of like particular about this. It's not really so much about like these laws in particular. I'm like trying to find real world analogies. I just want to see if my argument is logically sound.
Yep.
And kind of do it as like, oh, well, my friend who works at this agency, like, they're really particular about their character actors, and they
Yep.
said something, so I want to prove, like, all of that
Mm-hmm.
to just help me boost my argument later.
Sounds perfect.
Excellent. I'm going intuition and persuasion for this because I'm talking to someone. I feel like that makes sense.
Yep.
Cool. Alright. This works as bad as well as it should.
You're not wrong. But it did work.
It did work a little, and that's the important part.
Mm-hmm. All right. And Foundry gets the final action.
Build your mecha face.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes like roll a boost for the start of the trial or something. Like, we don't really have a whole lot left to do.
Yeah, just boost yourself. You're gonna have to make some pretty big arguments.
Hmm.
I mean, don't forget, Dan, you are the Phoenix Wright of the group.
It's true.
Oh, it was a terrible plan, but you know. All right. Boost.
Boost, baby, boost.
Well, that's +1.
Yeah.
No. It's better than a +0,
Yep.
which is possible in setting.
Yeah.
Fair.
It's true.
All right. Well.
All right. Is everybody ready?
As ready as we're allowed to be.
Train Tribunal.
As ready as you'll ever be. And so
Choo-choo.
everyone is called in. You guys first, along with the witnesses on the opposing side, to the courtroom.
Oh my God, Thomas is the judge?
No, Mr. Station Master is the judge. Thomas is replacing a piece of art that didn't fit. Also, he's huge and cannot easily fit in the courtroom.
I was just assuming the
But
train
what's the
tribunal.
piece of art that didn't fit? Now we'll always question.
Yep.
Only train.
Only train.
I love how Mercury is so fucking tiny.
He's a perfectly normal-sized man.
Compared to everyone. Giant fucking dog. And then the spirit of death. And then a demon.
No, he's Tagrim, Prince of Cats.
Ah, yes, my mistake. Sorry. So sorry.
1 minute, let me fix this. Mr. Conductor, of course, is going to be. So, Mr. Conductor normally would have the first opportunity to speak for himself.
Okay.
But next coming in are the witnesses for the defense.
What?
Just coming off 4 different trains.
Yeah.
What?
After witnesses. Don't worry
So
about it.
that's what he did.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I feel like a giant middle finger needs to be thrown at Wex, not Boogeyman or Wex.
Maybe.
But his favorite hero is Foundry. He said as much.
Yeah, but well, look, when he comes on as a character witness for Mr. C,
He'll just talk about Foundry.
We'll just talk about Foundry.
he'll just talk about Foundry.
I hate all of
Only
this.
bring up his bias.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Mr. Conductor, he did save me. Foundry is awesome. I mean, look at the mech. You think I look cool? The mech talk!
Baby.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, no,
So,
my eyes are going to be looking over
after
there. My eyes.
everything, I have pulled up how many overcomes you guys have for each charge. Oh, 1 minute. Typo.
I don't want you to share that. We should. Oh, damn it. Okay, we do know.
This is for to actually overcome each charge and break through the witnesses. I'm
Where's
not
that
telling
listed?
you what the hidden tracks are.
Okay, so it's in challenges on the shared thing.
Yep.
Oh, charge 2 is bad. That's fair though. We didn't throw out any witnesses.
Yeah, you didn't throw out any of the witnesses for charge 2.
I was too scared of charge 1.
I suggested it, but it got turned down.
Because there's 900 things to do, my guy.
Yep.
We also have a lot of prep in for charge 2.
You do have a lot of prep in for charge 2. And remember, you have 4 witnesses you can call on. Basically, each of them will make a roll that I'm making once in the trial when you call them.
Okay.
They're all
So
here
are
to
we each
help.
getting a thing each time period, or will Foundry be calling us up, or how are we doing this?
So Foundry is the leading defense attorney, but so he primarily be calling you up. We do start with Mr. Station Master. Thomas also is a witness on your side, but again, he huge.
He huge.
He big.
He big.
He big but baby.
And technically speaking, I think he should be 2 hexes wider in each dimension, but
I mean, yeah, we do need to have some scope here. That is what I am hitting people with when I am running them over with trains.
you know what? Yeah, let's fix this. Give me a sec.
There goes the beautiful artwork statue.
Here's Thomas.
He's so big.
Mm-hmm. They have special
What about
ports.
all the?
I'm just saying,
What
in
about
each
all the
wall,
other
there's a
train?
port for a train to pull into to talk during the tribunal.
Oh my god, that's so good.
What are you squeeing about?
Just the idea of making a courtroom accessible to giant talking trains, okay? Got me.
I mean,
So sorry.
it's literally a train tribe.
Yep. So we're starting off with Mr. Station Master. It's like, thank you all for coming. This is the tribunal for the conduct of Mr. Conductor. Many accusations have been made about him violating the tenets of his oath to the job, causing damage to the train yard, and improperly transporting beings various dimensions. As Mr. Station Master, I have found that each of these accusations has merit, but would like to hear from a proper defense for Mr. Conductor. Would the defense attorney like to make his opening statement?
Go get him, Dan.
Oh Lord.
You got this, Foundry.
I don't.
Okay, before he goes, may I give him a boost, Nick?
Yeah, you guys can do it. You guys can take your actions in whatever order you want to. You have a 4-round tracker to do overcomes.
Okay. Well, oh shit! Wait a minute. I'm in my mundane mode now, correct?
Correct.
Well, I still have intuition, thankfully.
Mm-hmm.
Can
I
you?
would like to call principle of order because I don't lose my principles.
Yep.
I'm going to look at Foundry and just say, don't worry. Remember, like we've jotted this out. We have a ton of notes. No pressure, but just remember, the fate of me literally, staying as Mr. Conductor and being on the team rests in your giant, oversized mechanical hands. I have faith in you.
Mm-hmm.
Go get him, Tiger.
Order does not. Are you overcoming or boosting, Izzy?
Right. I'm sorry. I got excited because principles are the only thing that are left on my sheet. No,
You can still do a basic action.
Yeah, I am still boosting. And you know what? What did I save a boost for? Let me burn the +4 I have banked on interdimensional rules.
Sounds good. Also, as a note, the environment is going to represent your adversaries doing something in this short scene.
Actually, I take that back. I'll save the 4 for if I have to make the overcome. I'm going to give a +1 to this.
Okay. Dice have started out feeling spicy.
Clearly, the game does not want me to stay Mr. Conductor. You get a +1, Dan.
Fun. All right.
Fucking waste of a +1 boost.
It happens.
It does, but
All right. Sure. George has been nothing but diligent in his role.
Don't call him George.
Sorry.
Mr.
That's
C.
right. Mr. C has been nothing but diligent in his role as conductor. The defense acknowledges and understands the charges at hand. However, we will show that any how do I phrase this? Any apparent what appear to be lapses in judgment or violations are in fact Mr. Conductor doing his best to uphold both the letter and the spirit of his duty as Mr. Conductor.
Sounds like a good opener.
All right. I don't even know what I can roll for this. I do not have good dice for this.
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. You've got tons of boosts on you right now.
Make it up as you go.
True. How many boosts do I have? I know I have the +1.
Haven't you been putting them on yourself?
No, I think I've only put 1 on myself.
Well, I gave you a +1.
Okay, so I've got all right. So I have a I gave you a boost. So I have 2 +1s. I could throw my +2, my banked +2 with this. You know what? We need to make a good start. Okay, so net of +4.
Defend me, Dan.
Oh, we will try.
Hint,
All
hint,
right, so
wink,
all
wink,
right.
defend me.
Yes, and we'll use principle of defender.
Yep.
All right.
Good
Let's
job,
see.
defense attorney. Good job.
Okay, so that's 12.
That's 2 hits.
Ew.
Let's see here. This
Fuck you.
sounds like you're mostly hitting 1 and 2.
That seems reasonable. Yeah. Yeah, the soul thing is mostly going to be litigated by Sean.
Yep. All right. All right. That was Foundry's opening statement. So basically, Foundry's going to be calling upon witnesses to try and fight things as you guys stand up or call on one of the witnesses to make their role.
But the prosecution has to bring their evidence up first.
Yeah.
Where's our
Come on,
discovery?
man.
Ask to the environment for the prosecution to bring their evidence up first.
We should have at least a 6-month discovery period for cases of this complexity.
Can we pass to the environment first, please?
Fine.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. First up, the environment is calling upon Malguin and Satanic Shot to testify about the events of 6 hours ago and the revelation about Mr. Conductor's true identity to various mortals.
Yeah, that's fair. Malcolm's too far away to hear shit, though.
He's a dog.
Oh.
Malguin's a supernatural dog.
Okay.
But important note, Satanic Shot was on the witness list for the prosecutor against case 1. Malguin is not, because he is in fact a supernatural dog.
Yeah, no, Malguin does not count as a mortal who has become aware of who Mr. Conductor is. The main thing Mr. Station Master is asking about this to Satanic Shot is prior to these events, were you fully aware of the identity of Mr. Conductor?
I think she's just gonna answer quickly and say no.
And following these events and the revelations that were made, were you able to deduce what his identity was?
Who is the
Yes.
prosecutor?
It's Mr. Station Master.
Okay.
Oh.
I would like to argue that there's a conflict of interests in both being the judge and the prosecution.
You can do that when you have the action next.
Thank God.
That is not going to work out. We would have had to argue that way ahead of time.
We really would have.
I thought the trade tribunal meant it was going to be a jury of trades, which is what I was excited with, and all the trade heads were going to be poking in through the windows.
They
Wearing,
are.
like, the
They
big
are the
puffy
jury.
wigs.
They are the jury. Mr. Station Master is the one who has to actually bring the charges.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
That's
We're in a
better.
weird state.
Wait. If the trades in fact are the jury, I demand more train heads poking in through the windows on the left and right side.
Izzy, I'm not filling the map with trains. I don't have pictures of more than just Thomas, and also the map is tiny.
That's very fair. They're there in spirit.
But like where each window is basically train heads. And then Mr. Station Master is asking slightly more detailed questions of Malguin for how many people who should not know about Mr. Conductor were present at that time. To which, let me just go double check one thing, because I should have made notes, but I am good at things. To which Baldwin will respond, well, I'm not entirely sure about some of them. And I'm not sure how many of them could hear, but the number is anywhere between 3 and approximately 20. Including several members of the press of this city that will reveal the information further.
Were the press close enough to overhear?
I don't think so, personally.
In factual answer, no, but they were nearby, and he does not really know whether or not they could have figured it out.
Well, that's
Objection!
Well, you can't. If we're going by like trial rules, you can't really object to that. We can't make argument until we get to cross examination.
That's
Yeah.
also
Fair, fair.
guys, that's also what jitters is here for.
Yes.
Exactly. And Mr. Station Master is looking to Foundry for who is called on next.
Probably jitters.
So wait, I don't get to cross examine Mogwin.
Actually, yeah. So, what would you like to ask Bogwin?
Let's see here. Of the people that were present at the time that Mr. Conductor's identity was allegedly revealed, how many of them are you certain were able to hear over the chaos of, and admittedly of the ongoing battle and general destruction in the area?
Certain. That would be. I am not certain of their other names, but Discipline, Order, and Justice. I would suspect that given what happened, Harmony was not able to hear.
All right. Well, that's not bad. So we basically got him to. We basically got him to admit that's probably just the 3, which is
And again,
better.
If you call jitters up, it should confirm it.
Yeah,
True.
those are the 3 that he's certain would be able to overhear it.
All right. Yeah, I guess we'll bring up jitters next.
All right. So we're calling jitters to the stand. It's like, hello, Your Honor, trains, large dog. I'm
I
not
love
dreaming,
this man
right?
so much.
Like, this is real.
Shoots him a thumbs up.
All right, this is real. Boys, just messing with the colors. Mr. Foundry, what do I need to say?
No need to be nervous, Mr. Jitters. Just answer the questions as best you can.
You know, my favorite part is he actually has a name.
I mean, I'll fucking know what his name is.
I do. I gave it to him.
All right.
All right. So, Mr. Jitters, you were present during the aforementioned incident approximately, what was it, Nick, 20 hours ago, 24 hours ago?
No, like 6 hours ago.
Okay. You were present for the incident 6 hours ago near outside the whatever the name of the restaurant was.
Yep. I was there. What was that, a mess?
It certainly was quite a mess. How would you describe the noise level and general chaoticness of the situation?
Well, there were lots of gunshots. Some of the press was flashing cameras in my eyes. I don't think there were cars going off. Yeah, lots of gunshots, and a lot was happening. There was this, I think Siren was her name, screaming. It really hurt my ears.
Okay, so it was quite loud, and you would say your hearing was impaired, correct?
Oh yeah. I think I still got a little bit of a ring.
And you said there were cameras flashing in your eyes. The members of the press you described were nearby.
Yep. They were down near me.
From what you could see, did they appear to be affected by the general chaos and soundscape, or as well as sirens screaming?
And I think so, but those guys are crazy. I don't know what they do. They jump into situations that they should not be in.
Certainly, but one would think they're still human.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty sure.
During
he
the
just looks at the boogeyman briefly. Pretty sure.
During the incident, because I just a little sidebar. So Jitters had no idea about the Mr. Conductor thing, right?
None whatsoever.
Okay. So during the incident, did you hear or see anything related to Mr. Conductor's identity as anything other than Mr. Conductor, as you've been acquainted with him?
I mean, for the incident, I remember he showed up, he saved one of the administrators who was falling off a building. There was an explosion of blood, but that's it. We were all down on the street. I couldn't hear anything. They were like, what, 60 feet up, 70 feet up?
All right. Very good, Mr. Jitters.
And Jitters is adding 1 success against charge 1.
Good job, Jitters.
I'm just going to mark Jitters with a red dot to say he has been called to the stand.
Okay.
During cross-examination, Mr. Station Master is going to confirm a few times that which people were at ground level that Jitters could tell and which people were not at ground level. And if he suspects any members, anyone down there would have had, any sort of senses that would allow them to hear 70 feet away. To which Jitters basically goes, well, there's Antonini, but he scares me, and I don't know what he does, but he's terrifying and knows way too much. Also, I don't know, maybe that Siren Brood? Possibly? Followed by Malgwin just stating on the side, she is aware of all of these stipulations. It is not among people who would be a violation of this law. She's operated within the system before.
Oh boy.
Intriguing.
That's good to know.
Not surprising, but intriguing.
There is a thing for which people are actually valid targets in Law 1. I hope some of you picked up on some of that, but
I did.
Well.
Yep. Yeah.
I would probably would try to consult with Mr. Conductor in a sidebar once that comes up.
Oh, I know that out of character, not in character, but
I would still ask you in character if you do anything in terms of what exempts someone from the identity rule.
I think it's only people that, well, the reason why you were all allowed to know my identity was because when I blew the whistle, it's what brought us together. So I guess it was allowed / preordained by the magic train yard. So I don't know if maybe it's people who have used the rail system in the past, or something to do with higher levels of magic. I mean, I guess point of interest there, Mogwin's not on the list of people accused against me, and he clearly knows who I am.
Oh, so, worth keeping in mind.
I don't know.
All right, let's continue at any rate.
Let's continue. Mr. Station Master is going to go, all right. Foundry, is there anyone you would like to call to stand as a defense against the first charge? Or any of the charges, but...
Let's see. Let's try to focus on the first charge.
I think the second charge is where we're going to have the most problems.
Right. I'm just trying to figure out if there's anything else we can do in regards to the first charge.
I mean, I think Satanic Shot needs to be called.
A relevant one for you guys is, even though we're Phoenix writing it, I'm still going to make you roll overcomes on a time limit based off who's on the stand for knocking down charges. So
Yeah, that's
if there's
very
one
fair.
you think is harder, maybe save it more for when people are in red and thus better at overcomes, minus poor Gwyn, Lord of Green Death over here.
Who unfortunately has a D4 he has to be rolling with these.
And my status die is the same across the board.
I mean, that is a good point. Our cat friend over here is better in green if we want to call him up.
For the most part.
The problem, though, is we really need him for charge 3.
But you have
And
4
that can
rounds.
wait.
Oh, are we allowed to call witnesses multiple times?
Oh yeah, like here's the thing.
Okay.
This is operating off bullshit Phoenix Wright laws. You can
Yeah,
call witnesses multiple times for different
This is
crimes.
whatever
Okay.
BS we can manage.
We would like to recall Jitters to the stand. Jitters, do you think everything Gwen, Lord of the Green Death, said is currently accurate? Thank you, Mr. Jitters.
Yes, like no, we are in not clown car but train car court logic here.
Okay,
I love it.
so even worse. All right. So I guess we should probably get Satanic Shock in then.
All right. So Satanic Shot is taking the stand.
I guess okay. So I'm trying to think here. We don't. I guess we could have you like just confirm that the press don't have super hearing, but that's not really that important.
That would get you an overcome on charge 1.
True. All right. I guess we'll start there. Miss Satanic Shot. I understand you were somewhat acquainted with the members of the press who were present at the incident. Is that correct?
That's correct.
To your knowledge, do they have any form of enhanced sight or hearing or other senses that would have allowed them to obtain information regarding Mr. Conductor's identity during the incident from where they were?
No.
Excellent, thank you. Let's see.
No further questions.
No, we definitely have more. I'm just trying to think of what else we need Satanic Shot for on this charge. Because my brain is not going at 100%.
Do you, if it's allowed, can I show my logical reasoning? Because I don't think with the information Mr. Conductor happened to say during that time that it's enough to figure out who he is.
Actually, yes. Here, we'll treat you as an expert witness, as a member of the press.
Excellent.
All right. In your expert opinion, as a journalist, what is your opinion on how compromising the information Mr. Conductor revealed is?
For it to actually be compromising, you would have to already be acquainted with Mr. Conductor on a personal level, or the other person involved. And given that supers aren't really keen on giving away that information, it would be people who probably already have it.
Can you elaborate on how certain parties might already have the related information necessary to make that deduction?
Certainly. I can kind of walk you through my logic of how I got there, if that's all right.
Certainly.
Mr. Conductor at the time said someone's name, only their first name. And that he also stated his connection with that person, their secret identity. So that gives you a connection and a first name to work off of. From there, you can make some extrapolations of who this person is with her first name. You can then go over to likely jobs that she would have given her profession, her
Held station.
sorry, what?
Held station.
Held station. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Given her held station. Not everyone is going to make those logical leaps there for the first one, so that's one hurdle you have to jump over.
Is
From
it also
there, you
is
have
it also I was saying, is it also fair to say that if something as simple as mishearing the name would lead them completely in the wrong direction?
exactly. It's also a fairly common name. Of all the people, you'd also have to narrow your search down based on like location and that sort of thing. But given the abilities of some people with these various health stations, you can't necessarily assume that where you're seeing them is where they're located. So, having that information, I was able to find 3 less likely suspects for who this person actually was. From there, there's probably, of those 3, 2 are strong candidates, given the relationship that was stated. From there, however, you can't really make a logical jump between the two of them unless you already were acquainted with Mr. Conductor. I only before this event, I knew Mr. Conductor's first name because I happened to work with Mr. Conductor and Terminal very closely. So eventually people's gauge slips and you don't always call them by the correct name. From there, and also missions that Mr. Conductor, I, and the rest of Terminal were present for planning, I was able to figure out a suspect pool of who he could be, and only with that information combined with the slip up could I arrive at who he actually is.
Would it also be fair to say that you had to utilize quite a bit of resources in one, your position as a journalist, but two, in terms of technology, as repositories of information, things like that, in your work to come to those conclusions?
Oh, 100%.
Excellent. If I may, I actually have a question for Mr. Station Master.
What would you like to know?
Mr. Station Master, approximately how long ago was the current version of the identity rule put in place?
This rule, the current version of this rule was put in place approximately 40 years ago.
And how how to phrase this? How substantial were changes made between that version of the rule and the previous version?
The main change between this version and the previous version was that the acting Mr. Conductor is responsible for hiding their identity, and it is important that if it gets further transmitted, advances in technology have allowed people to learn far more from far less information and far fewer sources.
And Satanic Shot. In your expert opinion as a journalist, do you think it is fair to say that there is significant changes in the ability of journalists and others to obtain unintended leaked information than it was 40 years ago?
I personally can't speak to that. I know the existence of like outfitting people with cameras has made that a lot simpler.
And are you familiar with camera technology today versus what was available 40 years ago?
I'm gonna have to say no. That doesn't make sense for her to know.
Okay, fair enough.
I would have to say that you have to set up shots a little bit still to make sure you're getting a clean image. And that's not when you're taking pictures, people know.
Okay. So do we know what were the responsibilities of the Mr. Conductor if their identity was more widely leaked due to the what he's describing as changes in technology?
So far, of the past 5 Mr. Conductors, 3 of them had to be replaced because of their identity becoming exposed.
Is there any sort of protocol in place for trying to limit the spread of information other than just change before resorting to changing the person in that role?
There is a protocol in place, but one that has not been accepted, which is that the person who has been revealed becomes Mr. Conductor on a permanent basis rather than as needed.
Okay, well, I assume we can't really put that in our back pocket because there's no way George would agree to that.
I'm assuming you're still censoring
That-
yourself
that's-
for names.
Yes, that's entirely that's an aside.
Yep. All right. Can we get an overcome from satanic shot for testimony?
Yes, I'm using a +4 with the mom-approved argument, the unclaimed ticket, Mr. C's breakdown, and hospital name.
Sounds great.
I need to share the names. What the fuck should I roll with this? I'm going to invoke Principle of Detective for obvious reasons.
Obvious reasons are obvious.
Yeah, I'm making an argument.
And just to confirm, the witnesses for the other 2 charges are not currently in the courtroom, correct?
Yeah, they are.
Oh, okay.
They're there.
They're there.
Okay.
I've been here the entire time.
I was just confused. I didn't see some of the superheroes and stuff.
Remember, you guys convinced everyone from Charge 1 to not show up.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
everyone we could.
Okay, well that's good then, because that means that that the superheroes are not hearing about most of this.
Yep.
Yeah. Nick, can I use intuition and finesse?
Well, wait a minute there, Foundry. You need to specify one more time, saying this shot. As a member of the press, please make sure you don't publicize what's going on in this in front of everybody.
You can use persuasion, not finesse.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, intuition, persuasion, green. Let's go.
You got this.
Okay, that is a 12.
Yeah.
That will knock off Charge 1.
Yeah.
You
Fuck yes.
basically hear the murmurings of the trains. It's like, okay, guys, it's not his fault. Also, it's a good rule.
Yes. Systemic change.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now for the hard charge.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Seeing as how you have more witnesses, you are again being asked, is there anyone you would like to call to the stand about other charges while the jury is deliberating?
Let's see.
Should I? Do you want me to go up to argue either charge 2 or charge 3?
I'm trying to think. Are you better in green? You said you're better in green?
He's much
A
better.
little bit. So
Okay.
in red, I get a reroll, but unfortunately, one of my die is always going to be a d4, so rerolling lowest die is not that great.
Fair.
Because I treat even if I could use Infernal, I treat it as a d4 currently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try to get you in for charge 3 early then, because charge 2 is the one where I feel like that is much more flexible in terms of what needs to be done about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's knock off charge 3 as soon as we can.
Yeah.
Also, let's get this fucking demon out of here.
Yeah, please.
Besides, I
The
think
demon is messing with the vibes.
I think the two people who are left also would, want to talk against this charge.
Mm-hmm. Like, the demon is very hot. Too hot, in fact. Foundry's probably sweating in his suit.
This is why we have an advanced cooling system.
It's a series
Alright.
of magnets and tubes.
Are you calling Gwyn, the Lord of Green Death, or the Boogeyman up first?
I
Gwen.
think Gwen's probably better to lead with.
Yeah, let's lead with Gwyn.
Alright, so taking the stand is Gwyn, Lord of the Green Death, and supported by Tamarin, Prince of Cats.
Yes. Apologies
It's
that
so
current
stupid.
scenarios have made involving other contracts have led to some complications at this time. But I would like to argue that Charge 3 in its entirety should be thrown out, as there are existing prior and stronger claims on the soul of the one known as the Boogeyman than those represented by Zepar. One that is currently possessed by Gwen, Lord of Green Death, which is a contract that will be lasting for a year, and the other being a previously gained claim by Tagarin, Prince of Cats, following the Boogeyman's death in relation to the old ways and laws of the Fae,
Out of,
and
cur-
is
out of curiosity, I want to look over at Jitters and just see what his reaction is at the moment to everything.
Jitters is just like, that is a talking cat. I know it was a talking dog before, but that would happen in the fight. That's a talking cat, like a normal cat.
I mean, I'm just imagining Jitters just like reaches into his jacket pocket, pulls out some popcorn, and is just like, it's just falling out of his mouth.
Jitters is like going, I have a flask. No, don't do that. You're in court. But I have a flask, and that's a talking cat.
I have to imagine Marty Sloan's like, hey, take it easy, buddy. It's okay.
Marty's just like, don't worry, pal. I have no idea what's going on either.
to explain the nature of the claim currently possessed by Tiger and Prince of Cats. I will go over. I believe. Is it necessary for me to go over the how that claim to be in its entirety? Just going to go over on whether or not that's enough, or we should go recount the entire story from Wex. When were you resurrected?
Like 5 years ago at this point.
From Mr.
Right?
Station Master, he's like, please recount when the claim was established.
Is it okay if I establish what day this happened?
Of course.
I mean,
That was to Wex of like what day of the year
I
it
don't.
was.
I mean, the only person I really cared about finding out about my identity already found out my identity.
Okay, it's because I am going to argue that this happened shortly after Samhain.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Very well, I will state how this came to be. Shortly after Samhain, I was a bit upset about how the old ways and the people's practice of them have fallen out of fashion. After while out drinking for the past day or so, I declared that fine, I would be going back to some of the less kind older ways, and that I would make a challenge, the challenge for a soul that that all Ketsus can do on the first corpse that I came across. This was the body of the one known as the Boogeyman that had washed ashore. I made my statement and intentions for claiming the soul known, so that those that are doing the late wake could make the appropriate challenges to guard the body until the soul either naturally moves on or a priest or other entity sees that it is protected and moved on properly. There were none that were willing to speak up or around at the time to perform this, and no proper burial was being conducted. As such, as is allowed for Ketsis, I claimed the soul. Afterwards, due to the fact that there was no one to make the the distraction and the counterclaims and the guard, I decided to allow the Boogeyman himself to make those in place in the purposes of being fair, as the game without another player didn't seem reasonable. This included the traditional games of leaping, catnip, riddles, singing, fiddle playing, jacks, hopscotch, poker, and finally ended with a coin flip. At the Boogeyman's victory, allowed him to have his soul and returned him to life, but in absence of other claims from entities, it would default to me, as I would be the one that would have ownership.
Wait a moment here. How did he achieve victory over these challenges as a corpse?
Well, see, the point of the challenges and the late wake isn't necessarily that you have to win each round. The entire thing is that the thing is that you keep the challenges going until the proper time period passes normally. So one loss in the challenge doesn't eliminate you. It's when the other party gives up or the challenge it became moot. So while the Boogeyman lost leaping, wrestling, riddles, singing, music, poker, etc., the Boogeyman did win the coin flip.
I'm just sitting here kind of like confused.
Stupid.
So much of the court is confused. Baldwin and Tavern are both shaking their heads at this.
Look, I have the right to play games for. As a cat, it is my right to play games for any soul.
Tagram is like, it is in fact his right to play these games. And secondly, he's going to produce proof of the contract that he currently has an overriding claim at 1 year's time for the purposes of transporting the Boogeyman to his afterlife. Sean, please give me an overcome, as the court is left stupefied, except for Carl, who's writing everything down.
I turn to my companions in the box. I'm like, I want to be very clear that I have literally no memory of any of this.
Chris, you fucking don't. You were a corpse.
So I'm going to spend the 2 hero points I have left for the session
I think you need principle of chaos, not principle of immortality here, Sean.
Fine. I was thinking immortality because I treat immortality as I'm a fae. I'm spending the 2 hero points from that. I'm spending the 1 banked of +1. Fuck you, I'm a cat.
Very good.
I do what I want.
Yep.
For
That's why it's principle of chaos. The other psychopomps are like, I cannot fucking believe you.
I would
I
call
mean-
all of these shenanigans horseshit, but it stinks too much, so clearly it should be called cat piss.
And I'm actually going to spend one of my +4s for my claim is stronger. Because, you know, this is relevant. So I'm giving myself a +7 to start here.
Good.
Nice.
Do it.
Kill it with fire.
Wex, you have the stupidest origin story.
So that will be a 12.
In fairness, all I remember is waking up, Sean saying you win, and then passing out.
Look, so Good Spirits, totally follower of the old ways, was going to steal a soul, and definitely didn't make that oath just because he was upset, and was expecting to then play a bunch of games, and didn't go, who the fuck leaves a body just lying on the riverside? And then
The
go,
mafia.
okay, how do I get myself out of having claimed the soul? Because I don't actually want the soul, I just want the respect in playing the games.
I love that this implies that Good Spirits did not know that a human corpse, could not participate in like 97% of those games.
No,
Oh yeah, well, he was
knew.
very wasted at the time, so he's just going, okay, what are the standard games? Fuck, I won. He's just lying there. Fuck. No, right, he's a corpse, he can't compete in this. Let me choose another game until it finally came across a coin flip.
Baby boy, baby, no thoughts in that skull.
Not even a little bit.
Nope.
I would like
the important
to
thing.
assume that, like, also with this, when he gives this testimony, the current Tiger and Prince of Cats kind of just does the, like, fog where you get to see, like, the vision from the past of what is going on.
Yep.
So you get to see the steps for all of these games and these rounds
I think
as the completely sloshed, Tom goes, fuck, nope, that doesn't work, and until finally goes, I know, a coin flip.
I think there is one thing that we have all learned is that when Lord of Green Death's icon is a lie, he should be an orange cat.
Clearly. But yeah, so
Well, you have
that is a
stupefied
12.
the judge and all the jury with this argument and have gained 2 successes.
I feel like this argument should give more than 2
Oh, wait,
successes.
actually, no, sorry. Timron was also helping. It's 3 successes.
Yay!
Yeah.
There we go.
Does the prosecution have any counter statements for this?
They've gone this
prosecution
turn.
is okay. Quinn. How far outside of protocol was this entire endeavor?
Is that aimed at me, or...
Yes, that is aimed at you.
I mean, I don't think I did anything that wasn't allowed by Fey law.
And acting with Mr. Conductor, have you continued to behave in such a way?
Well, I still haven't done anything that breaks Fey law, but when I work with Mr. Conductor, I usually also have to obey human law and other things.
Okay. Mr.
I'm
Station
trying
Master
to
is still...
subtly state that also Mr. Conductor is good order principle influence of keeping him on track. and less chaos outside on his own.
Please don't drag me into this any more than I already.
No, you have now been dragged into this.
No, I'm trying to imply by you forcing me to also follow human law and other stuff that you lead to less insane shenanigans than if Good Spirits is allowed to operate on his own. Which I think should count as positive character witness.
It does.
That's probably getting the other two Fae in the room on our side a little bit more. Mike.
Yep. We have no further questions of Gwyn, Lord of Green Death. Formerly
We'll
known
hop
as
back.
Cameron, Prince of Cats.
I'll hop back to our side of the courtroom and just get to look at all of the faces of everyone else of just what the fuck.
Yeah, that is approximately everyone except for Iota. It's like, this makes some things make sense. Makes more things make sense than it really ought to.
I'm going to jump in Iota's lap so I can get scritches.
She's happy to provide. She's like, at some point we should talk about what other laws there are for this, but that's a later us time. And it seems like it's time for Boogeyman to take the stage.
It is finally time to take the stage, and I'm going to see if I can finish the argument out about the claim on my soul.
All right, Foundry, how are you questioning the Boogeyman?
I guess I'll start with Mr. Boogeyman. Would you? What do you recall of the aforementioned games with? Actually, I don't know if we want to quite go over how much of that you remember. Do you recall the game in which you won the claim on your soul, the coin flip?
I guess I'll answer this honestly. Honestly, not really. I remember waking up with a coin in my hand and Gwyn over there saying you won, and then passing out. And then I was alive again, kind of.
And God, how long ago were we in purgatory? This is out of character. How long ago were we in purgatory?
You were in purgatory about 5 hours ago.
Okay. And as I understand it, when the group came upon at the time where we met you in purgatory approximately 5 hours ago, you asserted the claim on your own soul in order to remove yourself from that realm. Is that correct? Can you go into more detail in that?
Right. For a while, I didn't know where I was. But I think if I had been fully gone, and if my soul hadn't been on my own in some case, I would have gone to wherever, and I point over at the demon guy, wherever I presumed that guy wanted me to go. But I still knew there was a part of me that was still mine. And once I remembered everything in purgatory, it's only because I remembered it, and I started to pull myself free, that I was able to get out. And I didn't do that all alone. But unless I took that first step to do so, to drag myself out of that place, then it was never going to happen. How could I do that if I didn't still have some claim on my soul?
How indeed, Mr. Boogeyman. I don't think we need a whole lot of other things from Boogeyman. That was really the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
Bring up my contract with I guess the King of Cats right now.
I mean, sure. Like, I'm trying. What aspect do we need to actually go over?
The fact that I have time, and I'm not condemned until that time is actually up.
Okay, sure. Would you describe the conditions of your contract with the being currently known as Gwyn, Lord of Green Death?
But I
Or
think it would
guess-
be the
Flip it.
contract with
Oh, no,
Tagran.
that's right. I'm sorry. Would you please describe the details of the contract with Tegrim, Prince of Cats, as best you understand it? God, this name swap is so fucking annoying.
As best I understand it, being currently known as Tagran, Prince of Cats, his job is to transport me to the place I'm apparently supposed to go due to my actions in life. And he'd been trying to get me to go there for a while. Here's the thing, though. It'd been he hadn't been able to send me there for a while. Again, because I'm here. I'm bound to here due to my own will and due to the actions of Gwyn bringing me back to life. But if there was any doubt about that, that contract that I signed basically ensures that until my purpose is fulfilled in this city, then my soul will not go the rest until I can actually accomplish my goal. And I will tell you, my goal, and the tavern can confirm this, my goal is not fulfilled yet. I still have business here on this earth.
Tigrum, is that correct as you understand it?
This is correct. The contract was until purpose fulfilled, or the time has passed, and the purpose is not yet fulfilled.
And nor has the time passed, correct?
This is also correct.
And this understanding was put into place prior to Mr. Boogeyman being placed in purgatory, and thus prior to him being transported out of purgatory by Mr. Conductor. Is that correct?
This is correct.
Thank you both.
Let's do a boogie roll.
Yeah,
Boogie roll.
Man, give us an overcome.
Boost it up. Let's get this shit done. Then we can just worry about charge 2.
Yep. Probably for next time with the late.
Yeah, probably for
This
next
is the
time.
reason why I said I think this will take 2 sessions, just given when people have to sleep.
Okay.
And also
So-
given that we wanted to Ace Attorney.
Yes. Yeah, this feels like a pretty satisfying place to end it once we get charged 3 handled.
I think I need to do very, very well on this. So
You need to
I'm
hit
gonna take the +3 I have banked for accepting help,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll use the remaining 3 points I have to give me a +6. And I'm definitely rolling with Principle of the Undead, since we're literally talking about the nature of my soul.
Oh, absolutely.
Do it.
You
Do
got it.
it.
Undead.
And we're gonna do what apply? I guess Revenant absolutely applies to this
Revenant
one.
applies here.
We're in green. I'm gonna do roll Infernal because we're dealing with, again, infernal powers.
Mm-hmm.
14.
Yeah.
That knocks out charge 3.
And as I exit the stand, I look at the demon guy and I'm just like, another day, pal.
Oh, we'll have days. We'll have years. I think this is a good point to finish. We're going to be at the top of yellow next time. And you guys have the big overcomes to do because they have a fair number of witnesses to call against you for that one.
Yeah. But we also have a lot of time. We have 3 full rounds.
Yeah, we blew through charge 1 and charge 3 in the first round. So
Yep.
that's pretty
And-
good, baby.
Yeah, it is.
And this is also the one we have the most room to argue.
Yes, there's a lot of room to argue, and I feel like we have a pretty good we have a pretty good line of reasoning to attack this with.
We still also have some good character witnesses that haven't taken the stand yet either.
Mm.
Yep.
That's true. I mean, we're also present where we can kind of attest to some of the reasons as to why Mr. Conductor did this and some of the abuses of the system that have been done and that have affected our hero work.
Yep.
Mhm.
And
Good
have
job
been,
moving the
roughed
cat
over
next to
for
Dr.
previous-
Iota.
Yeah, I realized I should do that.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you, recording. Check us out again next week as we finish the Train Tribunal. Good night, everybody.
Good
Good night,
night.
everybody.
Good night.